I never regret anything I've done in life. It's made us what I am today, and then I've been protected all my life in a certain way, but I know if I hadn't went through the life I've been through, I would have been off the bridge. To tell the truth, if the policies have got something on you, it's a game. You've got to be one step ahead of them. I've always had that, you know, my ability to take a punch or punishment. It was just, I just used to walk through them, you know. Obviously now, I know why. I've been protected, you know. And when he put his hand on the counter, Swin pulled a freaking machete out and chopped 3 of his fingers off. Whew. He said, "Tell your doorstep to show me respect when I come in here." And he had a bullseye window, and his head opened up like that, and this flap fell out his... Oh. And I thought, and he's jumping about like, and the blood squirt. I thought, fuck. And he went, bump, tripped. His head went through a bullseye window, and the front of his napper just fell off like that. Oh, fuck.
Was he fitting?
And what them said to him was, sign the statement, Stuart Watson grabbed you by the hair, smashed your head through the window, and he kicked you unconscious. That they had 6 coppers in there. They'd put cameras in there, set it up, and they set this up to get them. They wanted them off the street, right? And Viv wasn't a villain. He could fight, but he wasn't a villain. He didn't have that. He didn't have that killing instinct, and I wasn't going to run stabbing people or shooting people or anything. You know, it was like I couldn't get my head around it myself. Why they wanted me so much? It's what's in there. That's what counts in the fight. What's in your heart?
So you're in for a treat today. We are in Newcastle with Stu. Now we are a true crime channel, so we are going to be going over some of Stu's true life stories, but also it is such an inspirational ending after, you know, what he's experienced, to come out the other side and have this cosmic, divine energy healing ability, which we're going to get to. And at the end of the video, Jen is going to get a session, which is going to be filmed. So you're going to actually see that. So huge thank you for meeting us today, Stu.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure, yeah.
Yeah. Just to get straight into the crime stuff then, because that's, you know, the focus of the channel.
Yeah.
This morning, we've all watched the video with Viv Graham. Yeah. And I saw that a long time ago as well. And, you know, he was known for just knocking people out. And it's like you had a divine protection that day, isn't it? Because the people who watched that.
I've always had that, you know, my ability to take a punch or punishment. It was just, I just used to walk through them, you know. Obviously now, I know why. I've been protected, you know.
What was you doing then? How did you get a career as a doorman?
I was just a scrapper. I used to like a fight. I was at school. When I was at school, I had to fight for everything, you know. And I was dragged up as a kid. Had nothing, and I mean nothing. Every other month, the gas and electric would be cut off in the house. You know, I went through a rough childhood. Yeah, really rough. I used to wear wellies in the summer for school. And I'm dyslexic, and I rebelled when I was at school. It was hard. It was hard times. I mean, I had to fight for everything I had. And there was 4 brothers. There's 4 brothers, including me. I got a brother, Harry, he's the oldest. Then I had James, who passed away with cancer before I knew I had this gift. And I had my brother Paul, and myself. I was the youngest lad of the 4. And my brother Harry used to, you get jail for it now, like. You'd make a ring with a settee and the chairs, and how the 3 were in there. And we used to have to fight like cat and dog. From being a very young age. And like I say, you would get jail for it now. It was like really, really severe. Cutting each other, and there was a year and 10 months between 3 of us. I had 2 brothers in the same year at school, so the rivalry was quite fierce, you know.
How did your parents meet, and what did they do?
My dad was My dad never lost a day's work in his life, proper hard worker, but he's only a labourer on the buildings. And my mum was my mum, you know, she had worked as young, when she was young on a glass house and that. But we find it hard to finish it. She couldn't work, you know, she was poorly, you know.
Okay.
Would you say you were closer to your mum or your dad?
My mum. My dad was very, very old school, hard. He had a cat of 9 tails made and horse whips, but he could get his hands on it. We had to fight, like I said, fight for everything, and it was hard. So we did get in little bits of trouble, but my dad hadn't been in trouble in his life, you know. And as I got older, when I was like 12, 13, I was a man. Then I was fearing out and just fighting kids 17, 18, 19, you know, and I was a young kid. And I just never got hurt, you know, like never felt out. I was hurt, but looking at it, I was hurt, like cuts and mild scars, and you know, and I used to be black eyes, everything, and but I never used to feel it myself inside, you know, like to keep us down, you know, never been knocked out in my life. No.
So the fighting cross over into school? Yeah,
crossed over into school. I used to have to fight for things at school, you know, and I used to, when I was at school, I used to rebel. Because the teachers didn't know dyslexia was a disease then. You were bloody thick, and I'm far from thick. And they used to get right out. Then one of the teachers had a cricket bat with holes in. You used to hear it bend, and you used to hear whistling when they come in and smack you on the arse with it. You used to hear like a whistle on it, yeah. And it was, teachers used to do out then, didn't they?
So did you get excluded?
Yeah, I just used to jump. I was 3 floors up, and I used to jump onto the next roof down, the old flat roofs. I used to jump onto there and off there and onto the grass, and I was away. I left school. I didn't have a video spirit level, I mean, the O level.
How old were you at that age?
About 12, 13.
Did you have any interest in any of the school subjects?
Football, I used to play. I played with Gateshead, and I played when I was at school, and I played with the county and that, you know. So I used to be pretty tasty at football, you know.
How did that make you feel when you're on the pitch?
Well, I was aggressive. Well, I was aggressive. I used to, when I played with Gateshead and that other county and that, I used to say, Stuart, keep him out the game. But I used to do it fair, you know. I used to play like left half then. You know, it was midfield then, now left midfield. And I just used to keep them out the game, you know. Just let them know they were in a game. Rather than now, you cannot even touch the fuckers, you know. Sorry about that. You can't even touch them, can you?
So you're a Newcastle supporter then? Yeah,
well, my son, Leon, he was at Newcastle from 6 years to 16. He was in the academy. I went all over the world with him.
Wow.
Yes, I went all over the world.
So after school, where did you go from there?
I went to the Rains. It was called the Delta. It was rough as hell. It was the only place that, you know, if you left a job within, I think it was so at the time, you didn't get your dole money when we were kids. And doing the Delta, it was 63 started on the Monday, and I think it was 5 who were left on the Friday. But you got your dole money because you were work. It was an inside job, but the roof was knackered, and it was just a bad pitch. Oh, it was a bad pitch. But it was heavy work, and I loved it, you know. I liked work. And I met some characters doing there. John Downey, you call a lad, he's from the Wobbler. Used to call him the Wobbler squad. Used to go to all the football matches. And he like took us under his wing as soon as he could see what I could do. He took us under his wing as a kid. I remember we went to a Millwall match. We went meeting in the Cordwain as the buses. And it was 10:30 chuck out then. And it's at the doorman in the tune. He was supposed to be a tough kid. Corv Mick, they call him. And I was 16. And my brother went to go to the toilet, and he says, "You're not going to the toilet." And he come blah blah blah. And there was loads of business in a big market. Then it was, and this kid went to set about my brother, and I went running across. And this kid, the kid called Mick. He's from Coventry. Supposed to be a handful in that, you know. And I went across and I kicked the shit out of him, you know, at 16. And everybody was like looking, because they knew him. I wasn't from the tune. I'm from Gateshead. And they were all looking, going, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "I don't know who it is. Who is he like?" He said, "That's Corv Mick." I go, "Who the fuck's Corv Mick?" Yeah. And
So that's when you started making a
That's
name
when-
for you.
yeah,
yourself.
I just was scrapping it, you know, just fighting it. How are you come with me? They took us under their wing, sort of thing, you know.
Wow.
I never regret anything I've done in life. It's made us what I am today, and then I've been protected all my life in a certain way. But I knew if I hadn't went through the life I've been through, I would have been off the bridge. You know, they prepared me for this, physically and mentally.
Were you into training back then? Like at
No,
the
I
gym or
never
anything?
trained. I never
You've
trained.
never even trained?
I didn't train till I was bloody 30 years old.
Bloody hell.
29, 30 I was before I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Because I just used to flim have a scrap, and then everybody's taking this and taking that, and like for a month I thought, you better start getting that gym, lad.
Did the fights, like you described the hooligans and stuff, did that end up with the police getting involved in your life?
Not a lot, because I wouldn't what you call it a bully, you know. Wouldn't stand doing that from anybody, but I was never a bully. And the majority of the people I was fighting were people who thought they could have a fight themselves. So that's a difference.
That's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
So what was your first encounter with the police?
Oh, just bits of scrap or bits of, you know, like I didn't, the police turned, I turned into, I went down that road because I got forced in doing off the police. They portrayed me like that, and they had me, before all the shit with Viv and that, I only had I think I'd been up for a bit of scrap, dodgy MOT, and I think the other one was having a fight with somebody when I was a kid about 14, you know, and that was my big crime flimming list, you know. I'd know, really.
So what age did you start working on the doors?
Well, I think it was in my early 20s, you know. I was in the early 20s, and I just used to go on and I used to enjoy it. I used to enjoy a fight. I used to enjoy it, and you know, like I said, but I never got hurt, so that maybe is why I used to enjoy it, you know.
And what was your social life like at that age? Did you have a lot of mates? Did you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I was married when I was had 2 kids at 21.
Oh, bloody hell.
Wow.
So how did you meet your wife then?
Just kind of up at Wickham, the 3 tons in Wickham. It was 3 tons then, and I used to be scrapping in there every weekend. Yeah, I used to be scrapping. I was older lads like I was fighting with. Ben and mine, I was only 16 then. So, and then it just progressed from there. I think it's just people, you know, you get a reputation for having a fight, you know.
Did having a wife calm you down a bit?
No. I was working in it. I went to work I was in a bakery for about 10 years. Hundreds of bakers. I was there 10 years. Then I started going across the town a lot when I was about 25, 26, and I was filling in with people on the doors and helping them out. But I was to be first in. Well, it was all going on. I was first in, you know, in a fight. And I got set up we're going to Hobos, they set us up. The police set us up.
We're going to get to that, to the Hobos thing. Well, how old are you when that happened?
28, I think.
28.
29.
All right, so before we get to the Viv Graham stuff then, what other notable or crazy things happened in your life in your 20s on the doors? There must have been all kinds of situations.
Yeah, it's just, I never used to, like I say, I never used to back down from anybody, you know. I never used to back down on anybody. I used to look after a few bars across here. I'll tell you incident. This is the police again. I used to look after a bar in Dunson, called Cross Keys. It's pulled down now. And I was in there, and this guy's come in there, called Fred, that was a manager. And this guy was in there, he's mortal. And he's got his hands, he's got his hands on the brass bar, going to run the bar.
Yes.
The handrail.
Yeah.
He's got his hands on there, and Fred says, "Can you get him out?" And I say, "Oh, you got to leave," and he wouldn't leave down, so I had to physically pull his hands off. And I said, "Wait," and I turned and run. I said, "Out," and I swear, dude, I never touched the guy. And he was now when they're going like that, and they're away. He went like that, and he's away. His hands doing by his side, and he's away from him, gone forward, and he went bump, tripped. His head went through a bullseye. It was windy, and the front of his napper just fell off like that. Oh, fuck.
Was he fitting?
No. He was just now when somebody's that drunk and they kind of get the balance in that, and he's away like that, and he had a bullseye window, and his head opened up like that, and this flap fellow is, and I thought, and he's jumping about like, and the blood squirt. I thought, fuck, and I got a hold of him. I said, somebody get an ambulance for him. As soon as the ambulance come, I says, I'm away, and I left because I knew the busies, when the busies come for him. The next day. He signed himself to the hospital. He had 48 stitches in his head across here. And he had a hat on. And luckily I knew the kid who he'd done it. He was would again, pissy he was. He got pissed again. And he was, the for sale signs in somebody's garden. He picked one of them and he hit this kid with it, and another kid, and broke this lad's leg. And he got nicked. When they took him up to the busy station, they gansed him, get your hat off, took his hat off, the guns. What's happened then? He says, tell them the tale. And what them said to him was, sign the statement, Stuart Watson grabbed you by the hair, smashed your head through the window, and he kicked you unconscious. Yeah?
Bastards.
So why were the police out to get you?
Bear in mind, Viv and the gang were in jail on remand. They were trying to get me in there on remand, the busies. And you know what would happen if I was in there on remand with them?
This was before...
This was in between that.
It was in between that?
It was in between it. And I would have got a chance of getting stuck, and luckily, I seen them all come into it. I used to live in a flat at Westgate Road, in Newcastle. And I seen them coming, and I went up the lasses, up the stairs, went to the lasses upstairs. And they come in team handed looking for us, the busies and that. So anyway, missed them. So I went to the solicitor. I says, he says, I said, give them a ring, ask them what it's about. I had a rough idea and knew what it was about. And this kid had signed a statement. Luckily, there was about 25 people in the bar. And I knew most of them, and I got the manager to make a statement. I got RM to make a statement in there. And the kid who got his leg broke, the charges got dropped on this lad for him signing a statement on me. So the kid's got his broken leg, and he went to court. And he says that this lad here, and I stood up in court, while in court, he says, the priest is here, the police here, they're trying to, this is wrong, what they're planning to do to them. I've got all these people in here willing to take that stand, Tom Easton, my solicitor he was, and he says that the manager of the bar there, the kid with a broken leg, he's been told that there's no charges have been dropped on this kid for breaking his leg. And it was all because they wanted me.
Why did they want you so bad?
Truthfully,
Had you made a name for yourself at that point?
Yeah, well, yeah. But at the same time, I wasn't like some bloody naughty, dangerous villain. Yeah, I wasn't going around stabbing people or shooting people or anything. It was like I couldn't get my head around it myself. Why they wanted me so much? But I would come back to when this happened to me. What I'm doing. What I can do now is there's a war going on, and it's biblical. Dark against the light. And believe me, I think that they knew who I was, and they wanted me out again.
Spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these,
Yeah.
And they know who you are.
So when was your first experience with Viv?
For the viewers, a lot of the viewers don't know who Viv is. Could you just describe who Viv is?
Well, he was a tough kid. I
Viv.
I think he got beaten in the finals of the amateur boxings. He was a tough kid, and he was a good boxer. He was a strong kid, really strong. But he just didn't like me at all because I wouldn't bow down to him.
Because his thing was taking over doors, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was taking over doors, and he was, if people's honest about him, he was a bully. Simple as that.
So he was trying to take over Newcastle.
If anybody had anything, he thought that he should have it. And if a kid who'd been training, because you've been training and looking good, doesn't see you can fight. Right? Mm. It's what's in there. That's what counts in the fight. What's in your heart? Now, that kid there, if you seen somebody come in them days, it was like there was the start of the raves and that, and everybody used to jump about with their tops off. Soon as if he's seen somebody looking a bit tasty, the kid could be sort of shite. Yeah, because I know a lot of kids who were big and looked the part, they couldn't put the cat out. Right? And Viv used to go, if the kid looked the part and he gone like that, and he used to knock them out. Right? Just because they looked the part, just because they looked like that. Right? Yeah, and he used to knock them out. And he used to hate to think that I wouldn't bow down to anybody. I wouldn't bow down to anybody. I've always been a fair bloke. What you see is what you get. No bells and whistles. No false about us, and I'll speak my mind. And I'll stand and I'll stand in front of anybody. And he was just people talking about me and about him and that and blah blah blah. And the first time that I had an incident with him was when I had the first ecstasy tablets in my life. I had ecstasy tablets. And I was off my fucking tits. And I went into Julie's nightclub, and he was there, and the guys, and he tapped us on the shoulder. He goes, "Yeah, Watson," and I turned around like that, and he went, and he turned around, he gives it one read under the chin as a scholar, see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you want when you're on ecstasy, that is
and
it?
Yeah, but he cut, wait, but he hit it, and I went like that, and he shit himself. Because that's not what's supposed to happen. He was with Rob Armstrong at the time, yeah? And that's not in the script. He guns up the back lane, he guns up the side lane beside you. He says, "Oh, get up here." I says, "Yeah, I'll fight you." I says, "I'm off my tits." I says, but I said, "Well, I'm not cowering." I says, "I will fight you." And he says, "Come and see us up at Wickham the next night." I got a phone call and that. He says, "Come and see us at Wickham." Was it the bridle path at Wickham? So I says, "All right." So a kid called Stephen Vaughan. He's dead now, Stephen. And he went up to Wickham, and Viv and Rob didn't turn up for some reason. They were supposed to meet them there. He says, "Because you can't, well, this isn't good, we're going to have to work together on that." Because I think he got a little bit thinking, "Well, this kid can take a shot, like." And I never seen him after that, got left after that, and then it was, I was just getting in name. And then when it was, I think it was Cecil and Reggie Levy, I was working at Rock Shots a bit, aye. They says, "Would you do the door run at Hobos?" And I says, "Yeah." I says, I'll do the door. I just left the bakery, then I just walked out of it, because I was getting a taste for the nightlife. And when I went to do that, and there's a few lads up there with us, they said, "But you've got to keep the Sears out, Viv out, and Tom's out." I says, I said, "I'll do that, neighbour." So anyway, guns up there that night, and the Hobos. And I'm in there, and they come up, the team come up there. And when they come in, somebody says, "Viv name's in the foyer in there." And I thought, once they're in the foyer, it's harder to get them out. They should have been kept at the door. And I come out and I says, "Who's let these in?" And then Viv says, "Yeah, Watson." And turned around, bang. And I turned around like that. And everybody that was with me, the doorman that was with us, they were like scalded cats. They were gone, not to see. And she was my girlfriend at the time, Sharon. She was there screaming in the background. That was her.
That was Sharon?
That was Sharon, aye.
Oh, wow.
And he's bang, 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 bang. And I'm looking, I think, you're going to have to take this, because there's 5 of them around you there now. And you're going to have to take it. And I'm going, "Go on, do one, Viv, and nothing." And it burst through into the club itself. And we're going through into the club. And they were shooting on, would pull the exit door open, kick the exit door open, and the guns, "Get him, we're going to do him. And they pulled a couple of metal blades on him. So Viv guns, "Stu, gan doon." I said, "I'm a fucking gan doon." He says, "Gan doon." I said, "Well, fuck." He goes, "They're going to hold you." I said, "Well, they're going to have to hold us." Aye. And I had a hold of the spiral staircase there, and a couple of them were giving us digs in the ribs and that. He says, "Gan doon." And then Viv wasn't a villain. He could fight, but he wasn't a villain. He didn't have that killing instinct, and he could have a fight, but swear doing he wasn't a villain. What you would call a villain. So, and he says, "Yeah, how are lads? He's had enough, because he got frightened, because he thought they were going to kill us." And then I says, right, is that it, lads? Aye. I says, and so I goes, I says, I'm all right, man. I says, well, this is a few cuts on us. I says, you know, a few stitches I need and bits and bobs. But I says, I was still all right. And I went to the toilet, cleaned myself doing. And I had to go to the hospital, get it stitched up. And I was back there that was on a Saturday night, I think. And I was back there on the Tuesday. So just to, you know, I showed them I couldn't give a fuck.
Soldier.
Yeah. And I just, you know, I wasn't bothered. And now, but I was never, and I swear on my kids' lives that I wasn't aware that there had 6 coppers in there. They'd put cameras in there, set it up, and they set this up to get them. They wanted them off the street, and they used me as bait. Truthfully, if there's any QCs out there that believe that you can an old crime thing, them should be charged, these police, for a conspiracy to murder.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been charged for conspiracy to fucking murder. They hide me in there and tried to get me killed. Yeah? And the 6 policies were in the court. When they were there watching this. And when this went to court, and it's there in the archives, the court archives, the police got on, took the stand, and they said, you're seeing this man was within the inch in here of his life. Yes. And when were you going to intervene and stop this? This is our orders was to let it take its course.
Oh my God.
That's what they said. Let it take its course. They wanted me dead. They wanted them to kill us. And they wanted so they could life them off.
Get rid of you and then get rid of them all in one swoop.
But get rid of me what for? Yeah, because I like the scrap and that. Yeah, it was really, when you think back of it, you know, these stories that's coming in with paedophiles and all this, and they're getting done now. That was a conspiracy to murder me. And you know, they couldn't. There's no other way they could explain it. Yeah, them police officers were in that bloody nightclub, and their duty is to protect me.
Do you think information was fed from the police to Viv for the attack?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
How far away from you were they when that assault was happening?
The coppers?
Yeah.
Right from where you are, they're just...
What, in like a separate room?
No, they weren't actually there watching the full case unfold.
You were right there?
Yeah.
Just not moving?
Yeah, not moving.
In the club, just
stand watching, taking notes.
Because in that video, he said it lasted... They were in the club for 3 minutes, something, weren't they?
Who?
Viv and them were in the club for 3 minutes.
It was in there, maybe...
And they just let them walk out, then?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. So, was that video accurate in the commentary? Because there was a point where he says... Viv Graham has a pressure point on him.
No. Yeah, on his neck.
No,
what was really going on?
It was shade. He just wanted. He was worried in case it got out of hand and that somebody stuck us. Right? Yeah. That's what he was worried about. He was thinking about himself then. Wasn't thinking about me. He was thinking about himself, thinking if them kill him, I'm in a shit here. So, but the police, the longer that went on, the police were just taking notes, and every police officer, CID. Took the stand and all said the same thing. Our orders were not to intervene at any time, but let it take its course.
So if you've been killed,
that's
absolutely fine.
That was fine.
Fine. So was Viv actually with some killers that night? Is that what?
Yeah,
was
he was
going
with
on?
He was with. I think it was with Michael and Stephen. He was with Fish Times, Rob Armstrong. It was
serious people. Though.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Were you worried at some point you were going to die?
No. Well, when you're different, you just didn't worry about that. But I wasn't gonna do it. So the glory was saying, "Oh, he'd done him," and he didn't. I never got done. I never told. Not once did I get done.
What was their motive, Stu?
Because I stood there and says they weren't gonna get in.
That doesn't sound right.
Was that just like a symptom of a bigger?
Yes, it was a bigger picture. They'd been going in run the clubs and all that, and like I don't know. Demanding the job or whatever, and it's that and the other, you know. And the busies had put extra cameras up in the club and everything, man. So they didn't miss now.
So they wanted their men on more and more doors. They were expanding the operations. Is that what it was?
Possibly,
doing?
I don't know. Hand on heart, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, but they didn't like anybody saying that they couldn't get in the club.
Yeah. And why did they say they were out that night? Did they say why they were out that night?
To go in there just because I think I didn't know they knew I was there because I'd been there maybe a couple of weeks by then. I'd only been there a couple of weeks by then, yeah. And that's when a lot of people, so-called celebrities, used to go in there. You know, there was like a small club, but it was a little bit upmarket, you know. So.
And when were you called in for that night? I mean, was the boss of the club, was he in on it with the police? If he knew the police was doing an operation?
Yeah, of course he must have been. He must have been. Like I say, Cecil Levy and Reggie Levy got the job to do the door.
Yeah.
And them cocked it. They didn't want to do it.
So all of a sudden they're calling you.
And that's me to do it. But now them are getting paid something for getting me in there.
So it's kind of a last minute job then that they called you in?
Well, because they were looking for somebody who would stand there and say that, you know, stop them getting in.
Yeah.
Because not everybody would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fearless.
Yeah.
So did they all get arrested?
They all got nicked. Them got nicked. And they thought, that, you know, it was all going around. I'd grassed them, I'd done this, I'd done that. And she made a statement against them, which there was total lies. Total lies. And I got nicked twice, saying I took 10 grand off them. Yeah. And I wouldn't take fucking 10 pence off them. You know, I've got morals, and I wouldn't take it out of them, but I wouldn't still didn't make a statement against them. Yeah, and now the policies I got arrested twice, perverting the course of justice, saying that I took money.
Where did that come from? Because
it was John Sears had asked to see me up at little cafe on the West End. So I went to see him and he says, I've been told that you've blah, blah, blah. I says, listen, lad. He says, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And I go, listen, you didn't tell me what to do. I says, you ask us. I says, we may get somewhere. And he fucker tells me what to do. I'm my own man. I says, I couldn't give a fuck about you. That's the truth. And if people's honest about it, they'll tell the truth. And I stood there and I just says, you know, I says, no matter what I say, even if I say I caused the fight, it's there in video, and they can say I didn't. Nobody's going to believe that.
If you do something on camera, you're incriminating yourself.
Yeah, but you know, I says it's you know, look, I didn't have any love for them, but I didn't want to. I wasn't bothered if they got nicked or they didn't get nicked. Didn't bother me that. Yeah, and I certainly never made a statement.
Because Viv did a bit of time for that one, didn't he?
Yeah. And that's when them on remand, and the busy thought I'd took a bribe, saying that I had took 10 grand to say I started this fight. And I says, listen, and I says to the cops, I says, I wouldn't take fuck all off them, and I wouldn't take fuck all off yous. I says, use that out of fucking order with me, my life. And then that's when that kid got his leg broke when them on remand. And they tried to, the police again tried to get me remanded in the same nick as them. That's the truth.
Because then if they kill you in the nick, they can life them off.
Of course it is, yeah. Oh, there's a method in it. I know that they didn't just do it for fun. They didn't drop the charge on that lad for fun that had broke somebody else's leg. They'd done it for a reason, to get me nicked and get me done and get me done in there, and then they wouldn't what they wanted anyway.
And did Viv, was that the end of it, the beef between you and Viv? That?
When Viv we got out of jail and we had to meet up with him, he said, we kind of keep on doing this all the time, blah, blah, blah. And I says, yeah, I shook hands and that. And we got offered the job at Rock Shots to do the door and that there. So we started doing the door and Rock Shots and that. And Viv he was an awful kid when he was in there off his tits. He was an awful kid in there off his tits. And he used to go in the women's toilets and that and blah, blah, blah. And Adrian, he's dead now, he died of a brain hemorrhage.
Women's toilets and blah, blah, blah.
And he used to go in there and have a bit fuck about with, you know, try to have a bit fun. And the owner of the club says, Stu, tell him to stop going in ladies' toilets, And so I says, yeah, Viv, stop going in the fucking birds' toilets, man. I says, it doesn't look good on the club. It doesn't look good on fucking him anyway. But he's got, he's tunnel vision that way. So he had stayed off for didn't come in the club for about 6, 7, 8 weeks. And the owner says, I want the West End lot kept out. Because the truth was, we're getting cans of Coke, and he bought the can, putting a bit of tack on it, and I was smoking it through the...
Crack?
Yeah. No, not just... It was a lump of tack.
What's tack?
Cannabis.
Oh, cannabis.
The hard, aye.
Oh, hash.
Yeah. He's got that on there. And I was just wanting to be blatant and eat something, and he says, I want the mallet. So I says, I hadn't been in the club for a few weeks then, and he says, Dodgy Ray, you call him. Dodgy, he's passed away now. He's right, he was well named Dodgy Ray. And I says, tell Viv, Adrian wants to keep all these West Enders out. He says, because they're going to get the club shut in. She said, all right. So anyway, I was getting death threats every night. Then I had to be it was open like 6 nights a week. And I was getting death threats because I had to keep them all out. You know, again, like that, you're going to get it. And people that driving past shooting and back, you know, like...
Shooting at you?
Yeah, like shouting, you're going to get it. And I said, aye, right, you still can't fucking get in. And so I says to Dodgy, but I fucking tell Viv, I says, he says, I'm having to walk here. I says, and yeah. He sent Dodgy doing what his money. He hadn't been there for 6 weeks. And I just says, tell Viv he's not getting a fucker. He says, he's not going to be happy. I said, tell him I'm not fucking happy. I'm not happy. I said, I'm getting death threats and everything. I says, and he's not getting the same money as me. I said, I don't think so. I said, I'm no mug. And I says, he's not treating us as a mug. And he says, I said, tell him I'm not happy. He says, so he went and told him, he says, tell him to stick the fucking money up his arse. So I says, I didn't stick the money up my arse. I'd done like anybody with a bit few, you know, any brain cells. I got some extra dominant and used that money to get extra dominant. And I had to finish, had a canny squad there. And I think Viv got the Madison's door. And he was saying about people going up there and they were saying, well, they reckon you didn't do, Stu, not your nanny. And he was like a big kid at school. I didn't do him. And I picked the ball up. Here's the big lads coming. And he couldn't get his head around. It was them were wanting him and me to get it on, and he was taking the bait. You know, just stupid. So he phoned the club up, and when he phoned the club up, yeah, he said, Viv's on the phone. I went, yours. I says, aye. He says, what you said I didn't fucking do? I said, well, you didn't do me, Viv. I says, you know you didn't. And he says, I'm going to come do now. I said, well, you know I'm not going to stand doing. I said, I'm going to fucking... If you come doing, you know we're going to fucking fight. I said, I'm not going to run away. I said, we're going to get it to fucking fight. And he said, he goes, well, I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come along your house tomorrow. So he says, and I said, I'll come see you tomorrow rather than, you know, come to the club. And, you know, shooting odds. So I went along his house at, Wall's End. Against his house. And I was answered the door. And he says she says, Viv's shoes at the door. She's lying on the settee and he goes, oh, come in. I went in, I says, what's the matter with you? He says, well, people saying this, that. I says, listen, Viv, if you're going to listen to all that shit, this is going to happen all the time. I says, and it's not them who's got to stand and do the fighting. Right? I says, if you're going to listen to them, I says, truthfully, you should be fucking giving me a battle long lug. Them. Right? For saying this, right? So he says, right, he goes, he says, I'm sure somebody spoke this last night. I says, listen, Viv, you've got your club, I've got my club. Let we just fucking get on with it and different, you know, listen to all the shite. So it went left like that. But he's a gambler. He was a gambler and that, you know, and he tried to get money out of Adrian, saying that Adrian owed him money for protection the club and that, but I was looking at the club, not him. And I says, well, he's not, I'll speak to Adrian. But I says, you're getting fucking nut out me. So I went to see Adrian. I says, tell Adrian, I says, he's once wanted a few grand on him. And Adrian goes, what's I going to do? I says, well, you're not going to give him it. I says, because he doesn't deserve it. It's not, you know, he hasn't worked, he hasn't done nothing for it. So he goes like that. He says, well, I'll come down there. I'll come down. I said, well, Adrian says, what'll I do? I said, well, I'm going to stand with you if he comes down. And he didn't come to the club. I was in the gym with a kid called Todd. And I was in there, and he come in the gym, and he started, you know, shooting the odds in the gym. And this kid was with us. He stood up, and he pushed him, and I goes, well, yeah, leave him alone. You're beast for me, not with him. That's between me and you. I said, what the fuck's the matter with you? He goes, come outside, run the back lane. I goes, well, who's it run the back lane like? I says, you want to kind of happen? I says, happens here now. He says, fuck it, I'm this, I'm that, and blah, blah, blah. I says, listen. I says, yeah, you ain't getting the money out of Adrian. As simple as that. And he left, and I never heard out more about it.
And what happened to Viv in the end?
He got shot, didn't he? Well, he wasn't a well-liked kid, you know. He wasn't a well-liked lad.
Not surprised.
Yeah, you know, he wasn't a well-liked kid.
Right, so the other big figure then from this era that we've published audiobooks about is Lee Duffy. Do you want to tell the viewers who Lee Duffy was?
Yeah, Lee was a tough young kid. He was a boxer. Yeah, he was a tough young lad. I only had met him once. I was at Oz's nightclub in All Nighter down at, it was Jimmy Thea who had...
Was that when he tried to get in with his shorts on and stuff?
He just come in there and he was standing, I think he was in there with Michael Sears, I think he was, or Jimmy Thea. And he come out, he goes, Stuart, I said, aye. I says, Lee Duffy. I said, pleased to meet you, Lee. I says, heard a lot about you. He says, heard a lot about you. He says, you look like hard work. I says, well, we shouldn't have to find out, should we? You know what I mean? It's well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't just fight because you want to. I don't know. It's just if you've got to, you've got to. Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that was the last I seen of Lee, and he was a bully, and he was a tax man, wasn't he?
What stories had you heard of Lee from around that era?
Well, truthfully, just that he could have a shot, you know. He was a fighter, and he could have a shot, and he can run the doors, knocking kids out and nothing. Yeah. And he wanted to get it. Just him and Viv were supposed to be going to get it on. It would never happened.
Why did him and Viv have a beef? Was it because one had to be the toughest in the area?
Yeah, that's how.
Ego.
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 Always is.
But you cannot work with people who they're looking at you as a target, and possibly that you could take their crown, and they're looking at you and they're looking for weaknesses on you, and you cannot work with people if you're there with somebody, you're there with them, you're balls deep with them, you're involved, and that's it. And you're there to watch each other and make sure that you've got each other's backs, not looking how your weaknesses are to we're through you. You know, I'm a stand-up bloke, aye. And people used to come in and say, show us. I says, aye. He goes, fucking hell, I thought you were about 6'4". I says, am I not like? And I used to, it's what's in there.
Was it true that Viv was avoiding Lee Duffy?
Nah, I don't think so. No.
Have you got any funny stories from the doors?
Well, I've got a great. There's a kid that's he's a dangerous kid. He's a gay lad called Alan Swindon. You know him?
No.
You heard him? He was I got on all right with him. He had shot Billy Robinson at a house party, and the lads from the West End had, because if anybody's dangerous like that, they try to, he's handy for us. But I got on with Alan. He was a dangerous kid. He was proper dangerous fucker. He had shot Billy, and I was on holiday. And when I was on holiday, I was in, I think I was in Mallorca. And I got a phone. I'd seen Alan Swindon's had been at the Rock Shots at the club, and it was just started opening on the Sunday night. And I used to tell the door lads not to get involved with people that are dangerous. That's my job. Their job was to sort the run-of-the-mill stuff. My job was to sort what could turn nasty and dangerous. And Alan went in there with 20 of them went in, and I went in there and I started getting drinks and swilling the bar staff and that, and he was just being a fucking horrible man. And he was always all right with me. He always respected us because he knew that I was a proper stand-up kid. So anyway, I comes off holiday, and on the think it was on a Thursday. Swindon had went run to Madison's. And Jimmy Dimitri had it then. He's an Italian lad. He was a manager.
This podcast is sponsored by Harry's. Harry's is way more than a super sharp razor company. They're here to revamp your whole routine, from close shaves and flake-free hair, all the way to clear, healthy skin. Harry's helps guys feel great. For this sponsorship, Harry's is offering a free travel-sized shower gel with a trial set to you, the viewers, to give you a chance to try their other products as well as shave. Please make sure to support this podcast and give your own shower shave a go by redeeming a free Harry's trial set. All you cover is £3.95 for delivery. Just head to harrys.com/Shaun, SHAUN, to have your set delivered and start a shave plan. Your freebie will be added at checkout. That's harrys.com/Shaun, SHAUN. Thank you for supporting Harry's. Link is in the description box below this video.
And Swindon went to the door with a few of his lads, and the doorman stopped them getting in. Not funny, it's not funny, like. And when they stopped him getting in, he says, "Tell Dimitri I want him now." So Jimmy knew how dangerous Alan was. He says, "Oh, no lads, let him in. So they let him in, and he went to the bar counter, and Jimmy tried to soften the situation up, tried to break the ice a bit, and got him a drink. And when he put his hand on the counter, Swindon pulled a freaking machete out and chopped 3 of his fingers off. Whew. He said, "Tell your doorstep to show me respect when I come in here."
Bloody hell.
And that was on the Thursday. On the Friday, he come run to Rock Shots. And he was on one then. He was on, just hadn't been to bed night, you know. He was on one. And when he comes run to Rock Shots, there was 5 of them come run. And they went in old Granada. This is Swindon's at the door, Stu. And I come out to the club and I says, "Hi, what do you want?" He says, "I want to come in." I says, "I goes, listen, Dan, you showed me no respect when I was on holiday, or the club." I says, "You're not getting in here. You little fucking do one." And he goes, you'll get it. I says, "Fucking do one." So anyway, him and his pal pulled 2 guns out. And the door staff gnashed inside, And he goes, you'll get it. I says, "You better not." I says, "Divin, play with him." I says, "I'll tear it up." I says, "I'll push up your arse and blow your heat off." And he goes, "You'll get it," and let two runs off above my head.
Yeah.
He let 2 runs off above my head. And I stand on the top of the stairs, and I'm back and doing the stairs, and I stood there. And they went to get in the Granada, and it wouldn't start. So they bumping this bloody Granada down the road with a gun like that. And I says, "Go on, Anthill mob." And the old cartoon there, the Anthill mob. And then the same guy went round to Walker's nightclub on a Saturday. And there was a fight there. They went inside and they wanted a drink after a time. And the staff wouldn't serve them, so he went behind the bar, hid the phone wire around her neck and started strangling her. Jesus. So the doorman had to come in and they says, "Get him a drink. So they give him a drink. And he walks outside. When he goes outside, as a fight started, there was a young kid, God bless him. He was doing a bachelor party from, I think it was from up Alnwick or somewhere up that end. And he's walking past him, he just killed him.
Bloody hell.
Killed him, indeed. He was the most wanted man in the UK. He was on his tours, And 2-3 weeks after he was on his tours, you know, there was a hunt out for him. He was on Crime Watch and everything. And my phone went in the flat. And he says, I knew his voice. And he goes, I says, "Do you even see any of him? I know who he is." Right? By then I had climbed the ladder and I was like, you know. And he goes, "Stu," he says, "Me and you all right?" I says, "Listen, lad." I says, "You out of order." He says, "I know I was." He says, "I wouldn't have done that, you know." I says, he says, "Because I respect you." I goes, "Listen, you're out of order." I said, "You've got more problems than me." I says, "Good luck to you." And he got caught, he got a 25-year wreck. He's still in there now.
Yeah.
He's still in now, 25 wreck. But the wreck is Just say you're getting out in 25. You could be there for 30 or 40, you know.
Have you had guns pulled on you very often?
I have, yeah. It's because, like I said, I climbed the ladder and I never used to get into the house with a bloody, I used to have a tool down the back of my pants, and people used to come up and pick us up in a cosy, drop us up in a cosy, check the streets now, because I had threats on my life all the time after that, you know, like because I was hitting, you know, I was a big hitter then, you know, so, but telling to the kids out there, the money's good, the holidays are bad, so watch what you're doing.
Don't get gangsteritis.
So, did you fear for your family's life?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, there was there was, you know, there was a kid there. He got shot up at up at Coatsworth Road in the barn. Had to walk into the hospital and all of the policies here at end, and they got rang for it because I got a phone call because the kid got shot. And I just went in when he was sitting there, and all the coppers was watching. All the green bags in the hospital. I just picked all his clears up, put them in the bag, marked it, and I looked at each other like that. They got fucking slaughtered for that, because it's all evidence, you know. Wow. And it was.
So did you protect your wife from what was going on?
Yeah,
like, did you not tell her what was going on?
Yeah, she knew what I was, you know. And then I had, you know. But to tell the truth, if the policies have got something on you, it's a game. You've got to be one step ahead of them. But when they fit you up, it's wrong. If they've got you, they've got you. But different peer people and different lie and manipulate evidence to get you nicked. Yeah. So, I got done for prostitution, running a prostitution ring, and they said I was 6'2" with black hair. Yeah, and this is the truth. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I don't know how, you know, how things stand with the law. But that is doing a 6'2" with black hair. When they come for me, this is the truth. When they come for me, the ball started rolling, right? So I was at the magistrate's court. And I'm standing in the dock, and it said Stuart Watson, blah blah blah. And then the CPS started rattling a load of shit off and lies. It says he's never paid tax, never paid VAT, he's not known to the tax man. And I'm like looking at me, he's like, what the fuck is that about you? And he goes, I pay tax, I pay everything, blah blah blah. I says, you know, they cannot say that's wrong. When they went away, they got adjourned for 2 weeks. When it went away, they come back in, and they had to admit to the judge in the magistrate it was a different Stuart Watson. Same name.
Oh, there's two of you.
Same name, same date of birth.
It's got to be a common name, that.
Same date of birth. National insurance, 1 digit difference. And they'd put my name and everything in the database, and somebody mustn't have looked, and they got him out, and guys, we've got him. We've got him. He's not the tax man, VAT man, anything. And they had to admit in court that it wasn't me, but they still went along with it, and I had to do 11 months on remand.
Jesus.
And I got not guilty at the end of it.
Where were you remanded?
Durham.
Durham?
Yeah, in Durham, aye. 11 months remanded. And they admit it wasn't me. Yeah, well, there was 2 or 3 police officers on the car had an operation such and such. I forget the name of it. So these 2 or 3 busies, the coppers they'd left the Air Force and joined the police force. So the one that, you know, that says, right, we want this man. Come from the top, we want this man. He says they got a memo saying that they lie, cheat, manipulate, and like peer witnesses, like give witnesses things that they shouldn't be getting. Right? So then went this one of these prostitutes. She was a smacky guy. She's one I'd seen. I was 6'2" with black hair, and she got nicked. They're in a safe house, and she got nicked driving, right, doing here somewhere around Newcastle, and she got stopped in the car no insurance, no licence, no out. And she had a number on her, and she gave the number to the busies, and he had to phone it and says, oh, just drive her back to where she's from. She says she's all right.
She's with them.
Yeah. They took them on to get them in there, all her family, caravan holders and everything. They took their family away and everything. And that bird there was saying I was 6'2" with black hair. I've always had the hair. And then the 3 coppers that won the case against the head superintendent, we're not happy with this memo here. This is against the law. It says we didn't join the police force for this. If this man's guilty, he's guilty. But we're not. This is wrong. This is put up or fucking shut up. And then they took them off. They took them off the case, and I didn't know how to put them, because I didn't know how to put them. So my trial was a 6-week trial. 3 weeks into the trial, my barrister, Christopher Knox, he got a phone call in his chambers off one of these CIDs saying it's wrong what they're doing to your client, and we're willing to take the stand against the police.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Wow.
And they sent him the memo. So Knox, I didn't know how to put this. Christopher Knox when I went to court the next day, a judge, he fucking hated this. He hated this. And when you're now, and he's saying that blah blah blah, and honestly, I think Christ, I haven't got to have this. Because what the jury thinks, the judge can direct them, saying if you think that's right, it's up to you. But if you don't think it's right, there's something wrong with that. And so how he sees it, now he puts it across, he influence them. So now, when Noxie come with me, he says, Stuart, he says, have you heard of this police officer and that police officer? I said, no, Mr. Knox. He says, he says, I can taste blood. I says, and I didn't know how to put it. That's instant there. He says, so we took us into the dock, and I'm sitting there, and the judge goes, he says, the CPS, all these QCs coming in, all the coppers with all the pips on them coming in, the flat caps, and all milling about, what the fuck's going on here? And then I got told what was going on. And Mr. Knox scans, he sent the jury out. They sent the jury out and sent me downstairs. He come down and seen us. He says, we've got them. I thought, fucking champion. So anyway, Gans up to Gans back in the court. And the judge want blah, 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 but Mr. Watson, charges dropped. Mr. Knox Gans, you're not dropping the charges. I want the jury brought in. I want them to find him not guilty on all 7 accounts. He says, Mr. You'll get an acquittal. So, because otherwise it can come back for you. So that's what the plan was. And the judge goes, hold on a minute. He says, how much does this cost the taxpayers? I thought, what the fuck's it got to be? I says, the CPS didn't want to wash their dirty washing in public because them coppers are busy that were involved in this. Any case they done, would they be questioned after that? That's why they didn't want it in publicity. Right? And that's why they didn't want it to go any further. They just wanted to stop it there and then. Yeah? And so they brought the jury in. Fun is not guilty on all charges, and I walked out. And Mr. Knox goes, and some people are saying about suing the police. He goes, Stuart, he says, if I didn't like you as a person, he says, yes, he says, I'd take your money off you. He says, but that's what this is about. They want to financially ruin you. He says, this is what they're wanting to do. And it would get that way anyway, because it would get adjourned. He says, and you would lose.
So while on remand in Durham, did you meet any interesting characters?
Yeah. Oh, there was a kid in there. When I was in Durham, I was in Cattier. I was in hiding Cattier for 11 months. Because somebody said I was planning on the scrape. So I got hiding in Cattier. I met the IRA, is it Guildford 5 or something like that?
Guildford 5, yeah.
Yeah, I met Huey. And that, you know. And he was telling us about the IRA and talking about them, saying that it's not a cause anymore. It wasn't a cause then. He said it was all about gangsters. There were gangsters hiding under the cause and making millions. And I met a kid called Bob Mosley. Well, I didn't meet him, he's a nutter. He's a big Scouts kid. All his hair's doing here, big long beard, nails are hanging doing like. He was in for murder, and he had when he was in jail, he got himself a boyfriend, and they call him Hannibal the Cannibal. He's getting a spoon because he found out that his boyfriend was cheating on him, and he done him in the jail. And he put the spoon into the heat and tried to eat them. So he was called Hannibal the Cannibal, Bob Mosley.
You heard of him? Yes.
And when you're in Catty and you're high risk, you've got maybe about the length of this route there, across there, say what's that, about 25 metres, say by about 10 metres. And you've got a cage on top of you, cage there, and they've got a walkway doing there so they can come in with hoses at you over the top. And Bob Mosley's in that cage and I'm in this cage. And he's got a ball, he's got a flaming football. But he's just walking around it. And I says, yeah, boss, get the ball off Bob, man. What is it? I says, he's not using it. He says, I am. He goes, I am using it. I says, you're not using it? I says, you're just walking around it. He says, I might use it there. I says, get the ball for us there, boss. And he says, you're not having it. I says, and I went fucking crazy. And I went in the cage. I said, get us in that fucking cage with him. I said, we'll see what comes out with the ball. And they've gone, Stu, calm down. I can't get us the fucking in there with him. And he's like, and the screw comes, he goes, there's a ball, there's a ball. And I went, oh. But by then I'd been in about 8 months in Cartier, and it's a punishment block. And it's only a lie doing. It's a punishment block to send them there, for when they misbehave in other nicks. And I was in there for 11 months. And it's a right head the way you're stripped off, gone on there and stripped off, coming back and that. They're motorbikes and jeeps gone along the side of the motor, snipers on the roof of the car when I was going in that. I made it look like, because, you're kind of planning on to get fucking knobs, Anyway, and they just try to make you look as bad as they can. And I thought, when I got that ball, I thought, and when I went up when I got up there in my damper, I goes, fucking hell, lad. I says, they're gonna calm down. And I had to, I said, fucking, because it is ahead to her. When there's nobody could come to see her and visit, apart from your wife and your kids, immediate family. And everybody had to be vetted and everything. And it was, it stripped on the search, proper stripped, naked, gone on the visit, coming off. If you wanted even a headache tablet, you had to get cuffed up, 2 dogs and 4 screws to take it just to the fucking, and it was mad.
Tough.
Mad,
what was the food like?
Well, it depends who you are. Food was, I got plenty, I got me food. When I was on remand, for, I thought it was for drug charge. I got not guilty for it. And when I was on remand, I was only in 6 weeks. And people used to come to see us and they used to bring bottles of milk and pizzas and garlic bread in for the kebab. The pizza lad who had a shop used to come in, and they used to just bring them in because when they wanted me visiting them days, they used to search them out. I should be sitting there with pints of milk, and it was mad. And then you had some fun. The jail is fuck all. People who suffer as your family.
Yeah,
your
totally.
Family. You didn't suffer. I was in the best shape of my life being in there. I was in the gym twice a day. I was like the number one and that, and just doing what as long as you behave yourself and keep the lid on stuff, you are looked after,
So is that where you found your spirituality?
Where?
In jail?
No. When I come out.
Before the spirituality, I got one more question.
Go on.
I'm watching. Paul Sykes.
Paul Sykes.
Do you ever hear any stories about him or ever interact with Paul Sykes?
I didn't have any interaction with him. I think he was older than me, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sykes.
Yeah.
But he was a bully, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. There's some people who can have a fight. Some they're genuine, they're proper men, but they're not there to knock the shit out of somebody because they can. That's what bullies are. What do you do that for? Because I can. And it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your life like when you got out then?
When I got out, I was all right. I just done a 3 year. I mean, I had it quite easy. At every jail I was in, I was just. You've got to be somewhere you didn't want to be. It's an act. It's an act. You've got to stand there and all right, and look people in the eyes going, I am all right. You show any fear. You show any fear, especially when you're out your area, then they'll try to take advantage of you. Think you've cocked or you're a weak. Yeah, but every jail I went into, you had to stand there and you know. I was in a jail once. This kid was in there and he had broke a Ben's arm, you know. He was playing on the PlayStation, the Ben tripped on the way or something like that, and he grabbed the Ben, hid the Ben about the house. He was a coloured kid. He didn't just stand in the yard doing martial arts and all this shit, you know. Your shadow kind of hit your back, like, you know. And this kid, so anyway, he got shipped out. And this kid the screws guns he had his full. He says he's in for smashing a Ben's arm. Like, no, he says, well, it's as good as a nonce, isn't it? So the jail didn't accept him where he went to. So they had to bring him back. So everybody knew where he was then. So they put him on a different wing, and they're saying that this kid, he starts, because you could see each other through the other fences of the wings. You had your main yard and the smaller yards, and you could see them through. Then he's telling everybody he couldn't get back on the ear wing because of the Geordies that one. Only 3 I think, 3 Geordies on there, 4. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. So I used to walk around the yard with a pal of mine, Carl Moore Anderson, walking around the yard, and there's a few of the lads at the fence there. And I said, hey, what are you saying, Stu? And I said, what? And he says, like that. So I goes over front, said, and I goes, you cannot get back on them in ear wing because you're a fucking. I cannot see on here, right? I says, I says, no, then stop. I says, and you know why you can't get on there. You know you snap the Ben's arm. And I start having a go at him, and there's about 20 coloured lads that stand behind us. And one of the guys, yes, do. The guys say, what you call it, blah, blah, blah. And I goes, listen, I'm a white cunt. You're lad cunt. I said, get your fucking lad in the gym at 6 o'clock. I said, we'll sort the fuck out. And they just started to post, and he never come to the gym. He kept away from the gym, pretty seldom numbers. But that's the kind of people that you're in there with. They say them for this, them for that, and for the other, and you didn't know who the hell you're in with, you know. But you've got to make the best of a situation. We used to have a party every Saturday. We used to have a party with a hooch and that. And they used to keep it. If everybody used to take turns, keep it. And I had a big double damper. And we used to say, right, keep it down on the hooch. We'll have a couple of cupfuls of hooch. And Neil Diamond would go on, and everybody's rocking. Sweet Caroline, Bob, Bob, and the cells lifting. And they can run down the bolts and bars. I think it was 7:30 to come run down bolts and bars. It's bang up at 8:15. And I'm fucking starting. And I had a couple of kids off of their wings who were looking for them in my damper. And then everybody used to come and do the bolts and bars, and they wouldn't come into my damper. They were a bit shan coming in the damper. And then I was decided to go and do it on the phone. I was on the phone at 9:15. 9:15 at the school's gone, Stu, how are you, man? I goes, I'm on the fucking phone, man. And I'm fucking singing during the phone, you know. And I got tied in the block for fucking 6 months. It was that used to. You look at what you were drinking, you think, fucking yeah.
Did you see
that Huey Doherty showed us how to make the hooch?
Did you see anyone get jugged?
And he got what?
Jugged.
Oh, aye, sugar and water,
sugar and boiling water, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, for nonsense it was, you know, and they deserved it, you know. People say it's that, okay, that's what they do, that's what they get their rocks off to, and then you're not going to kill them. You're not. No. It's like you see them going with a woman. innit? Yeah? That's what they do. And that's what's in the head. Yeah, they just, you know, it's a proper, it's a disease, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now they're trying to, don't get started, because they're trying to make it saying it's all right now. Saying that, you know, a kid 10-year-old, you can have sex with them, and the stuff that you think, what the fucking hell's the matter with people?
The life people off for drugs and give give those people like little slaps on the wrist.
Yeah,
these priests get in and out, and
fucking children, man. They're babies, they're children.
The system's upside down when it comes to that, isn't it?
Sean, when they're saying up in Scotland, they're saying that a 6-year-old child can choose its gender, and a 4-year-old a 4-year-old kid, you've got to still wipe the arse. How can it now they want to be a boy or a girl? It's fucking crazy, man. The world is mad.
Yeah.
It's run by panic, evil fuckers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah, we've done a lot on that, but we got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us talk about it.
Well, they're not, because it's the truth, though.
Yeah,
It's the truth.
Yeah, go for it. Go on.
Your spirituality. So we've run out of time. We want to get obviously.
Yeah,
reformed your life.
Well, you've got. Are you going to use some of the videos and stuff off me?
Yes.
Down into my group.
Yes.
Take what you want off it.
Yeah.
Take what you want off it, because the stuff on there is amazing. Yeah, and I'm not a man to sit here and tell lies, and people's got to understand how hard it was for me to admit what I could do. Off my background, how hard it was for me to admit it. And there's a video on my group. It's called Divine Light Cosmic Healing on Facebook. There's a video on there where I get my family. I ask my family to take them in the office, and I say to them, "Listen, I cannot hide behind this no longer." I says, "What I can do," I says, "the pebble's been hiding the water." I says, and I'm telling people not to tell anybody, but how can I not tell anybody when they say, "Oh, hey, I thought you were bad," and they're not. They've been healed. And I said, "Don't tell anybody." So everybody's talking about it behind me back. So I says, "I'm coming out with it." I says, "I'm prepared for what people's going to say. That he's a fucking nutter. He's went away with the fairies." I was prepared for that. Yeah. And people who know me as a person, Sean, should not question that, because I'm a proper straight talker, and then I am, and I wouldn't say these things if it wasn't true. And I says, I'm expecting what they're saying. I says to my family, you're going to accept what the people are saying. And as I said that, and if you've gone through my Facebook, the testimonies and the videos and that, in the other room next door, it's off a CCTV camera, there's a big ball of light, big white sphere, comes in through the ceiling. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it yet, no.
Yeah, and it comes to the floor, and it manifests into an angel.
Wow.
And it walks through the wall.
Holy shit.
And I've got that on the group. I've got it there.
Put that in the video. Wow.
And that there was a pat on the back for me saying, "Stuart, proud of you. There's some evidence for you. You're admitting who you are."
Because how you discovered it was a pendulum, wasn't it, in a garden?
Yeah, it was in a garden, and it was my pals had a spiritual fair, and he come out with this pendulum, and it's held it there. See, I can see all the energy coming out my hands there. I can see all coming out yours. It's crazy. I don't know any viewers can see it or not. Yeah, I hope you can. Anyway, and he said if you got spiritual power, you can move the crystal. Ask it a question, left or right.
I've got one here.
For yes or no.
Do you want to have a go on it?
Yeah, because yeah, man.
See if we can get it on camera. Oh, there you go.
There's 400 room, please. Circular. Circular. Show how strong we are. Stronger. Stronger.
Have you got goosebumps?
Wow.
That there. If people are watching, anybody with any common sense, if there's a force to move it, there's got to be a force to stop it. When I say stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I tried to stop it, it would be going like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like putting a brake on. Yeah.
Wow.
Feel my hands. Freezing, aren't they?
Yeah, your hands are really, really cold.
Yeah.
Why's that?
Because My feet get cold, my hands get cold. The blood and the energies that gone through my body, if it didn't hit a cold patch, the blood, how would I heat? How would I heat?
Have they always been like that?
No, since this happened.
No.
Since this happened.
Wow.
So I'm doing it's crackers. It's crackers. But the stuff that you see on, I've done a documentary with Steve Wraith there. Have you seen that one?
I've not seen that yet, no.
Hard Man to Heal, that's
Hard
called.
Man's a Healer.
Amazon Prime. It's that there is a tearjerker. The kid had 2 hours to live. He's still self-pause he's got. Yeah?
Oh my God.
He was 10 years of age. And it was 4 days before Christmas. I get a phone call. At first there's this big indigo green and gold crosses coming towards us with 20 foot high. I was driving along, take my wife Christmas shopping. And I say to my wife, Shan, she says, where? I cannot see it, watch the road. And I go, fuck, it's huge, this cross, about 20 foot. 50 yards along the road, coming with Jesus on this thing. And I'm going, how can you not see it? And she cannot, because my spectrum of light is far beyond a human being's. Yeah? In 3 minutes, I got a phone call from one of the staff, yeah. He says, Stuart, I've got a fella on the phone. He's besides himself. He says his son's got 2 hours to live. I says, give me a number, tell him to ring us. So he phoned us up. You call him Malcolm. You call the Sharon. He was a mum. And when the guy phoned us up, he says, Stuart, I didn't even believe in this. He says, but I've went to do my morning. They've said he's got 2 hours to live. There's all the families here. And I've went in the corner, put my iPad on. He says, and there you are on the top of the iPad, off like a healing thing in the Chronicle. You'd done it 8 months ago, and it's on my iPad. I haven't searched for you, and now and he's crying. I says, calm down. He called his son Callum, and he tells us this was years. So I says, I stopped going. I didn't go shopping. I hate shopping anyway, so it was a bonus. So I flew across RVI, and when I went in, he was killing. His body was killing itself from the inside. His body was gone that week and gone. All his veins had collapsed, and his blood pressure was so low, and his heart rate was so low. And it says that they need to get these fibre optic lenses through his veins into his kidneys, so they could flush all the shit out. And it says that wasn't possible, and they give him 2 hours. So I went in, I walked in, I thought, fucking hell, need pressure. And I've got a lovely big heart, and I'm very emotional, and I'm very, things touch me. So I went in, all the family's crying, and I picked the head out of me. He's got all these bloody tubes on him and everything, young kid. And I went and held him like that, put my arm on his head, and I put my hand on his heart and that. And I asked Jesus to save him. And I got all emotional, tears run to my face. And I said, I've done what I can do. I says, it's in the big man's hands now. I says, keep us informed how this goes. So it was 4 days before Christmas. And by the time I left Newcastle, got in the house, my phone went. She says, Stuart, I don't know what you've done. I'm getting all goosebumps here, and I'm getting emotional. His heart rate's come back up. His blood pressure's back up. They've put the fibre optic lens into his veins, and the kid's still alive now. He's still alive now. And I went over that hospital every day for Christmas Day for about 10 days and prayed for him and I said, Jesus, God saved his life, and he's still alive now. And his mum and dad, his mum and his grandma is on the video in the other room in there, telling their story.
Wow.
And they've actually got Callum in there with them.
Wow.
Is that on your Facebook?
There's pictures are on the Facebook, and there's bits of video, and the mum's testimonials on there.
Wicked.
But the video, that was when Stephen come down and done the.
Have you got it available to put on a clip, maybe?
Yeah, well, you'll be able to get it off the Hard Man to Heal us. Sure, what's on Amazon Prime? Yeah.
That's the name of your book as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to do a book, because the stuff we talked about the other day, I've got loads to tell, but I've held back quite a bit because I know I've got a day book. I know I've got a day book. Yeah.
And you got to do a demonstration on Jen?
Yeah. Hey, stop talking like that, look.
Right. So where would you like me?
He's going to get a chair, he said.
I can get a chair then.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just demonstration of the energy and the power of the divine Jesus. When I'm going to show, like, she'll feel really, really good in herself when she gets up here. Demonstration. Yeah. And what you do is shut your eyes, think of Jesus. Yeah. I'm going to call him in. Here he comes.
I know. My legs would not stop shaking then. That was really weird.
How do you feel?
Kind of bizarre.
How's your energy?
Yeah.
Do you feel
relaxed?
Yeah. Do you feel relaxed?
Very.
Very relaxed?
Yeah.
Do you see any colours, anything?
Just white.
Yeah, just white?
Yeah. I'm a little bit taken aback there.
Yeah, honestly, what I can do, I'm not 100%, I'm 1,000,000%. I've got a gift from God, I can heal. I don't know what I can do and what I cannot do. I'm a genuine healer. I've had a young child there. I've done 3 children there now, and I'm getting suppressed getting out there because they don't want people to believe that the power of God, Jesus, the divine light, they don't want you to believe in it. They don't want humanity to believe in this. These young kids have got really bad, what do you call it, WHD or something? Or they've got
ADHD.
ADHD. And a kid has to wear a nappy and everything. This used to intercede the other day. He wouldn't eat nothing, like he'd just eat shit, what he wanted to eat. But 2 healings off me. Now the young lad there now, he's asking to go to the toilet. He's only 3-4 years old. But he had a nappy on, I think he's 4 years old, he's got to go to school, had a nappy on, and now he's asking to go to the toilet, he's eating properly. Had another young kid in with the same problem. He wouldn't share anything with his sister, he like resented his sister a little bit. He had showed no emotions. Done a healing across him, across the phone. I can do this on my group. I use the phone line as an energy line. That's what I use. And the energy I send of it's from the universe, it's from Jesus, God. And these children, this young kid, he got up the next day and he went into bed and he cuddled his mum and dad, and he wouldn't eat his food without an iPad on, and he didn't want that anymore, and he gave his toys to the kids. He said, I can't believe the difference in them. Explain.
Oh yeah, I just feel great. I can't explain it.
Your eyes look completely lit up.
She looks fresh, doesn't she?
Yeah, fresh as well.
Sleep.
Face is fresh, eyes lit up, everything.
Yeah,
and on the way here, Jen was complaining.
Tired, exhausted.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on.
Get in the chair and I'll shoot you.
God.
You can't stop smiling, can you? I'll ask you to do so. Put your head back. Right? I just want you to just picture Jesus in your mind. I want you to shut your eyes. I'm going to stroke your face. I want you to open your eyes. Yeah? I'm going to bring the divine light into you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an experience that you've never had. And so wonderful and beautiful. Yeah, we're gone.
Bloody hell. Like,
hey, blasphemy.
An electrical current just like went through my eyes, like it just energized my whole head.
Sean, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to stand up here and talk a lot of shit. What I say I can do, I can do. I'm 100,000,000% I can heal. I am a genuine healer. I've been given a gift from God, the universe. I can look directly into the sun without blinking, the moon, the stars. It sends beams into my body. I am a very, very powerful light being, and I'm here for a reason. I am here because of the shit that's going on now, and I am a big player in a big wheel. It is coming Whatever's coming, it's coming hard and fast. And I get drip-fed information. Nobody's learned us anything. Nobody's showed us anything. I get drip-fed it, and I know what to do, and I know when to do and what to do it. And whenever I ask the question, what's happening and what the hell is going on with humanity? When I'm called upon, I will be told, and not until I am nearly ready, and I'm prepared for whatever is coming.
Yeah, I was seeing yellow and white and red.
Seeing all the colours.
And then I just went somewhere else, and then I realised I was here because I had to breathe, and then it was like, whoa, I came out of it. Yeah, it was incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you again?
They can find me on Facebook, Divine Light Cosmic Healing. There's testimonies on there, there's videos, there's pictures that you cannot believe. Jesus and God comes to me every night. I am protected with divine light of energy. That's how, what we just talked about in the interview, that's how nobody could hurt me, because I've got a job to do and I've got a role to play. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
Thank you.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Much love.
Isn't it mad, isn't it?
It's mad, yeah.
Right. James, all I want you to do is relax. Think of Jesus. Put your head back, and when I straight the side of your face, I want you to open your eyes. Not until, yeah? Ladies and gents, just before I start with James, he's going to have an experience he's never, you'll not believe it. I've got a group in the Teams Club in Gateshead. It's NE8 2SJ every Thursday night from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. I do free healing. There's like-minded people here, there's mediums here. We do meditation, and the energy is so powerful and loving. Everybody's welcome. It's £3 entry. They get free tea, coffees and biscuits for your £3. Like I said, everybody's welcome. And if anybody is sitting on the fence and not believing what these people are telling you, they're not going to lie for me. And I don't want anybody to lie for us. I just want people to tell the truth and believe that Jesus is here. Yeah? Thank you. You right, Jim?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here he comes.
How are you feeling, James?
Nice and relaxed, and yeah.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, cheers. Thanks.
I thought he was going to nod off me.
It's kind of, feel kind of relaxed, peaceful, and
Fantastic.
yeah. Oh, thanks, Stuart. Yeah.
Look at his face now. Look at him now. Look.
I was feeling tired before, and now I feel more awake. And
James, what I can do, I'm a genuine guy, and I'm telling the truth when I say these things. Yeah. But I know I'm a very, very powerful healer. I've been given a gift, and I've got a baton. I've got to run with it, and I haven't got to drop it. My life is changed. Yes. Thank you anyway. Thank you thank you the viewers. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Cheers. This podcast is sponsored by Gadfly Press, who have published Northern Warrior by Richie Horsley, available worldwide on Amazon now. It's almost 5 stars across the board, and here's the blurb from the back cover. I've recently read Northern Warrior by Richie Horsley, and it just blew me away. Given away as a 6-day-old baby, Richie really began his life fighting. He was brought up by a loving couple in the fine northern seaside town of Hartlepool. But fighting became a way of life, and he couldn't escape it as much as he tried. Growing up in a fighting town with a passion for punk rock, a liking for boxing, and a reputation for fighting, Richie would find himself in many situations with some infamous faces, such as prison icon Paul Sykes, and Tyneside's Viv Graham, and his big fight with the notorious prisoner Charles Bronson. Richie has lived his life with a strong moral code, impeccable manners, and a gentlemanly attitude. But of course, when you mix that with bouncing in clubs and being in prison, those are traits you can't always abide by, and using extreme violence was sometimes necessary, even if it meant having to dodge a bullet or two. Some of his fights have passed into local folklore due to the brutality of them. ABA boxer, unlicensed boxer, bare-knuckle fighter, street fighter. Richie was all of these. Northern Warrior is the true story of a modern-day gladiator. It hasn't always been an easy ride, but Richie has faced every challenge with a warrior's mentality. Richie's journey is far from over. He continues to live by his motto in life, which is, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Yeah, so check out Northern Warrior by Richie Horsley. Link is in the description box below this video. The audiobook is superb.